All right. So this week it occurred to me about excuses and reasons and not getting stuff done. So this is what this is going to be about. This is going to be about the differences. Well, not really the differences between excuses and reasons. More or less, it's going to be about dealing with, you know, the notion of people saying that their excuses aren't really excuses, they're reasons, and the notion of dealing with the differences in ourselves and how to go forward with them. More about myself. It's going to be about how I have to deal with them. So, you know, it if you talk to somebody about accomplishing something in their life and they haven't been able to, and say it's a dream they have, and there'll always be excuses for not accomplishing that dream. You know, I was born in the wrong place. You know, my teachers didn't like me. Whatever it may be. There are excuses that aren't legitimate. You know, um, that doesn't mean that they're not legitimate in the sense of they created a hurdle in their lives, but they're not legitimate in the sense that they stop them from actually achieving their goals. So I want to make that clear. I think that there are definitely advantages and disadvantages for different people based on geography and skin tone and all sorts of things. I don't want to belittle that any with this. So I'm not saying that there's never a legitimate reason either, you know, because there are always legitimate reasons for not getting something done. So, a legitimate reason might be I wanted to spend time with my family. Um, it was more important for me to be successful at my career. Um, so I think that when we look at that, and when I look at it in my own life, I think about it, like how important is it for me to succeed at poker and what my definition of success at poker is. For me, succeeding at poker is making a living at poker. you know that's not everybody's definition. Some people's definition is they just want to be better than the other people in their home game. you know it might be I just want a second income. It might be I just really want to have fun at the game and I don't want to deal with all this extra stuff of studying stuff. How do I just get good enough to have fun at the game? So I look at that, and the reason this is coming up is, many of my dog passed away, and I had a legitimate reason not to put out content. I was grieving. All right. Um, I was grieving, and before that, I was battling depression, and I had a legitimate reason not to put out content. I was battling depression, and it was very difficult to function. And before that, uh, you know, I was trying to take and I'm sure there was a reason for that. I can tell you that I didn't put out content yesterday, and my reason was I was helping my father out with something that he had to do, and um, you know that was more important to me. There's always a reason not to get it done. There's also always an excuse. And the question is what is it, and does the reason really stop us? You know what I mean? Does the reason really stop us? Helping my father out didn't stop me from doing content yesterday. I came home yesterday. My wife had gone to the grocery store. I had an hour. I could have sat down and done content, and I just didn't. You know, and I didn't have a reason, and I'm not going to make up an excuse for it. I didn't want to do it. So then the question becomes, how important is it? How important is the blind stealing the blinds to me? Well, it's very important to me. Do my actions back that up? And sometimes they do, but a lot of times they don't. They don't back that up. So in my actions are not in synchronicity with my feelings and emotions. Um, and therefore I'm hindering the blind stealing the blinds. BJ is not hindering it, and I am. I'm hindering it because my actions need to be in synchronicities with my feelings about it. If it's important to me, I need to make it important to me. So then this question becomes, at what level of importance is poker and the blind stealing the blinds to me? And how do I get my actions in synchronicity with my feelings so that it can overcome my excuses, and so that I can determine what level my reasons are? Are they more important or less important? you know so I want to talk about that for a moment. You know what I mean? It's our right if your reasons are more important to you than succeeding at a goal. It really is. I don't want to put anybody down. I don't want, you'll get these people, who will treat every reason like it's an excuse, and it's not. If your reason for not, putting 20 hours in on the table is, I want to spend time with my wife and kids, guess what? That's a legitimate reason. And I'm never going to criticize you for it. That is more important. You know what I mean? So it's not a matter of saying that your reasons aren't legitimate or that you have to brush your reasons aside. And that's not what it is for me. It's a matter of, where do they lie? You know, I'm grieving over my dog. I don't want to do content. It's a legitimate reason. But the reality is doing this content makes me feel better. Should I grieve my dog, the loss of a pet that I loved like I love a lot of my family members? Well, yeah, I should grieve that. But I should also realize that it's not really stopping me from doing anything. So if something's really important to me, I could still take an hour and invest in that, and then I can go right back to grieving. Sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you can't do that, and that's fine. In the middle of depression, well, depression is one of these insidious things. It's like, that the best thing you can do for it is get up and accomplish something. Literally, it's literally the best thing you can do for depression is get up and accomplish something, whether that accomplishment is to go for a walk or, to clean up your freaking dining room or wash your dishes. And yet, when you're in depression, those are the hardest things to do. So, how do you take those reasons, accept that they're legitimate, and then prioritize? And this has been my problem my whole life. It doesn't matter whether it's poker or whether it was you know anything. It really didn't matter. It didn't matter what it was that I was trying to accomplish. It was a failure to prioritize how important that accomplishment was. So how important is it for me to become a professional poker player? How important is it to me to grow the blind stealing the blinds podcast and YouTube channel? It's very important to me. All right. It is not more important than spending time with my wife. She's the most important person in my life. It's not more important to me than helping out family. It is more important to me than being sad. It is more important to me than my job. I'm just flat out going to be honest. My current job is important in the sense that it is a tool to succeed at my accomplishments, but the job is not more important than my accomplishment. So that's where I am today, and it's a internal look for me at you know prioritizing how important the reason is, and to make sure I'm not making excuses. You know, and remember, I mean, it's okay. It's okay if something's not important to you. It's better to just say it's not important to me than it is to come up with all sorts of BS reasons why you can't get it done. It's just not important, you know. Um, Anyways, that's all I've got for this little video, and I don't know if it's helped anybody, but it's helped me. And thank you. I'm Dell Hamilton for Blind Stealing the Blinds.